Hey sports fans, Coach Nick here and welcome to B-Ball Breakdown. I have a special guest today in Pete Philo. He's a friend of the Breakdown, and we all know him as the president of the TPG Sports Group. He was a 14-year NBA executive. And Pete, I can't thank you enough for coming on here because there's something very special that I'm excited to talk to you about.
Well, Coach Nick, always a great pleasure to be on your show, so thanks again for having me.
My pleasure. And I think what's interesting here is that the cool thing that we're moving towards as far as knowledge about the game and how it works from a scouting or a coaching standpoint is that things are now moving online. And it makes it a lot easier for people to actually get this information without having to travel thousands of miles and spend a lot of extra money to do that. So when I got my email, a month ago about virtual scout school, I thought my ears pricked up and I wanted to hear more. So I know people watching this thing are already interested in hearing this. So can you give us a brief overview of how you conceived of virtual scout school and what it means and what it's going to be?
Sure. So, when we rolled out Pro Scout School in Las Vegas, which is our live event, we had so many requests around the globe asking about any online content or how could we share some of our scout school information online, and so or post event. And so we've been working on this concept now for a couple of years behind the scenes and collecting information, interviewing different people in the industry for content, as well as all of my content that I have for 14 years of being in the NBA, and putting it together, tweaking it, putting it together and tweaking it to make it just perfect for every person in the basketball industry. And what I mean by that is this is geared for basketball coaches, basketball scouts, video coordinators, player development people, everyone in basketball.
We've talked a lot about scouting in the past, and I know a lot of people have seen those videos before, and I'm kind of curious, there's coaches out there that might think this virtual scout school doesn't help me because it's for scouts, but do you have stuff that will help coaches as well?
Well, honestly, I think it's geared more for coaches than anyone. It's virtual scout school. Our brand is Scout School, right? We have our live event in Vegas, and this is virtual scout school, but we wanted to put something that broadens your outlook and basically challenge your boundaries in the game of basketball on every level. And so coaches are typically people that are focused on game prep, X and O, philosophy, development, and coaches can become better if they engage and understand different parts of basketball, and that works on both sides. It works for scouts and player development people that maybe want to learn a little bit more about the X and O and strategy components of basketball. So, we have talent evaluation month. We have salary cap month, where you're going to learn the role of a salary cap person and the role in free agency and trades and draft night. We have organizational cultures month, where we're going to talk about the healthy cultures in basketball and team. It's funny, in the last week we've had an NBA coach and a major Division I basketball head coach reach out to me after they've received their content for October and said, "Pete, I cannot believe all the stuff that we got in month one already. We've learned and we're implementing into our teams." That to me was the ultimate feedback.
Wait. So I'm sorry. So you actually have NBA coaches who are clients who are actually in the virtual scout school? Absolutely. Yes.
Wow.
Okay. That certainly is a ringing endorsement.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually, a couple NBA teams have purchased multiple subscriptions for their staff. Okay. A couple colleges did that as well recently. So we were real fired up about it, and we learn about draft room and draft prep. It just broadens your overall outlook on basketball. You see nowadays, Nick, so many people transitioning from high school to college or college to pro, even American to international or international. You see international guys coming over here now and getting jobs and looking for positions. The world has shrunk in the last 10 years, and now virtually this helps but it also helps open opportunities.
Absolutely. Well, that's really exciting to hear. So I'm kind of curious about what you mentioned about the culture. Can you give us a little snippet of like, what that's about, and like maybe one little sentence about, what you would do to institute culture, a good culture, I guess, like we talk about the Spurs all the time, or the Warriors. What does that mean?
Sure. Well, it's chemistry in the workplace. It's making sure your staff are always doing things that are promoting a healthy culture. People need to have their roles and understand that things need to be done a certain way in order to achieve ultimate success. And there are little nuggets through the content that prove this and have a proven track record of this. And that's going to be in the content, of course, but those are just a few things that we will be sharing in organizational cultures.
How interactive is it? Or is it very passive? I'm just sitting there staring at a screen the whole time, or do I get to interact with the people or involved, or even just other members?
Sure. So this is something that we're really excited about, actually. You'll receive your content on the first of every month that you'll be reading on your computer. We will implement a video chat session one time per month. And in that video chat session, you'll be able to ask questions, interact with that particular industry expert for that month. So we're picking someone that is an expert in that particular topic each month to be the video chat person. And we also have a blog where other subscribers can communicate with each other. We've already had some people communicating. One from Europe was communicating with a couple American guys. I thought it was really cool to see, and I'm going to jump in this week and try to get some dialogue with some people. And then we'll also have quizzes at the end of every month. So you'll take a quiz on the stuff that you just previously learned of that month's content.
What I love about this primarily is that it's a month to month where you change kind of the subject, right? So you can you're not mixing all these things together and making it chaotic. It's organized. It's really great. You kind of become an expert on one thing per month going through, right?
Absolutely. And that's the beauty of it. And that's why we put it together. There's nothing else out there like this in the world. And we have the ability to do it, and we're happy about that. And so, for a basketball coach that, he'll get his fix from maybe the 5 innovative offensive concepts in the International Basketball Month, which is December, or the 5 innovative ATO concepts that are in, the month of December, or game preparation stuff that we have a 20-year NBA advanced scout that he's going to be giving a lot of his NBA material that he's learned over the years, and a typical scouting week, a pre and post game material for the coach, the diehard coach. Mm-hmm. But that diehard coach is also going to get information on, let's say, the 15 characteristics by position that translate, and that can be used on every level, high school, college, and pro. You also get the 45 important questions to ask when doing background on a player. There's 45 important questions, and you got to know what those are to do a real background check on a player. And so these are some of the things that you just become well-rounded on everything in the business and sport of basketball.
Well, I'm excited to jump in there and check everything out, and I know that everybody out there watching who wants to get into the business or just learn more about the game should definitely try it out. It's starting now, right? So it kind of keeps rolling, and you could sign up anytime, I imagine, right?
You can. Now, you can sign up anytime throughout the year. However, you won't be able to go back to see the previous content until it comes back around to you for that month. So we encourage everyone to sign up in October. October is our first month of content, which is out live right now. And that way you'll be able to get the content every month for 12 months moving forward. And we strategically put certain content in an order. So this month is called Before You Can Evaluate. And in that month, we've loaded it with a lot of great content. 8 components of scouting, 10 things to know about scouting, 6 divisions of scouting, NBA office structure, managing up, managing down, and the 8 keys to time management. That's all in October. And so from there, you'll move forward all the way through, obviously through September. But if you sign up in January, let's say, you'll start in January. You won't get October, November, December. You will start in January and go all the way through and finally get October, November, December at the end.
Perfect. Well, hey, that sounds reasonable to me. And what's also interesting is that people like me would benefit from this. Guys who cover the NBA or cover college basketball.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like it's just the more insight you have. So maybe the next time we try and criticize somebody, we'll be a little bit more informed. And be nicer. So, Pete, thank you so much for coming on the show and breaking this down for us. I can't wait to start it. And if you go on there now and you can use my code BBall. You actually get a month free, which is a nice little perk as well. So I wouldn't have you on here if I didn't believe that it was terrific content, and you guys do great stuff. So thank you so much for coming on. I'm looking forward to it.
Thanks, Nick. Really appreciate you having me on.
You got it. And don't forget, sports fans, at B-Ball Breakdown, we're not a channel. We're a conversation. You in? Are you in, Pete?
I'm in, Nick.
All right. Sports fans, to see more of our great NBA content and analysis, make sure to hit the subscribe button, but also click the bell and adjust your settings so you can get an alert the second our videos drop. Because trust me, you're going to want them hot and fresh. You in?